All right, if you're getting ready to tackle the PMP exam, you already know it's a beast. It's not a lot just memorizing a bunch of terms, right? It's about really understanding the deep logic of project management. So in this explainer, we're going to break down a strategic roadmap that helps you focus your precious energy on the formulas and processes that are going to make the biggest difference. Let's dive right in. And the person guiding us through this, Manu Sharma, he puts it perfectly. This isn't just another study guide. Think of it as a battle plan, a strategic map drawn from years and years of real-world experience. So who exactly is Manu Sharma, and what kind of experience does it take to build a roadmap like the one we're about to explore? Well, let's take a quick look. Yeah, we're talking over 2 decades of leadership here. And look at the range, from scaling tech startups to designing social impact programs and fostering huge partnerships. This isn't just academic, textbook knowledge. This is wisdom that's been tested on the front lines in the real world. And that experience is the foundation for everything we're going to cover. Okay, first up, the math. But wait, don't let the word formulas scare you off. These aren't just abstract equations you have to memorize. You should think of them as the dashboard instruments in your car, or, well, in your project. They tell you exactly where you are, how fast you're going, and if you're headed in the right direction. The whole system really revolves around this one core concept, earned value management, or EVM for short. And it is so powerful because it takes these 3 giant things, your scope, your schedule, and your costs, and pulls them all together into one single unified view of how your project is actually doing. It all starts with something called planned value, or PV. The easiest way to think about it is this. Based on your project plan, by today, how much work were you supposed to have done, and what's the approved budget for that work? It answers one simple but crucial question: where should we be right now? Okay, next up, we have earned value, or EV. Now, this one measures the value of the work you have actually finished. And here's the key. It's not about how many hours you worked or how much cash you burned through. It's about the real, tangible progress you've made. So this answers the question, okay, what have we actually gotten done? And the last piece of this puzzle is actual cost, or AC. This one's about as straightforward as it gets. It's just, how much money have you actually spent so far? It's the bottom line on your spending. So you have these 3 numbers, PV, EV, and AC. Now what? Well, this is where the magic happens. By comparing them, you get this crystal clear snapshot of your project's health. Are you on budget? That's your cost variance. Are you on schedule? That's your schedule variance. It's so simple. If the number is positive, you're in good shape. If it's negative, well, that's a red flag telling you to dig deeper. It's a fantastic at-a-glance check-in. But we can get even more precise. Instead of just subtracting, what if we divide these values? That's where we get our performance indices. The CPI, or Cost Performance Index, tells you how efficiently you're using your money. For every dollar you spend, how much value are you getting? And the SPI, the Scheduled Performance Index, tells you how efficiently you're using your time. For both of them, anything over 1 is great. It means you're performing better than you planned. These are basically your project's vital signs. Now, let's switch gears for a second and talk about estimating, guessing how long a task is going to take. The PERT technique gives us 2 really useful formulas. The first is the triangular distribution. It's just a simple average of your optimistic, most likely, and pessimistic guesses. But the beta distribution is a little smarter. It's a weighted average, and you can see it gives way more weight to that most likely estimate. In a lot of real-world scenarios, that's going to give you a much more realistic number to work with. All right, enough with the math for a minute. Let's talk about the processes. The PMP exam tests you on a ton of them, but there are a few key areas that just keep showing up over and over again. These are the ones you've absolutely got to know cold. Let's start with scope management. And you can see here, it's a perfectly logical flow. One step builds right on top of the next. You start by figuring out what everybody wants. You collect requirements. Then you use that info to draw a clear line in the sand. That's defining the scope. From there, you break down the work into smaller, manageable chunks with a work breakdown structure, or WBS. And finally, you circle back and get formal sign-off on what you've delivered. See? This whole process is designed to make sure everyone is on the exact same page from beginning to end. Next, we have integration management. Seriously, you should think of this as the glue that holds your entire project together. It's how you kick things off by developing the charter. It's how you create the master plan for the whole project. It's how you actually get the work done. And maybe most importantly, it's how you control changes so that things don't spiral out of control. It's basically the central nervous system for your project. And of course, you knew this was coming. Risk management. You absolutely cannot just cross your fingers and hope for the best. The PMP exam really hammers on this proactive cycle. You have to identify what could go wrong, then you analyze those risks to see how likely and how bad they could be. Then you make a plan for them, you put those plans into action when you need to, and it never stops. You're always monitoring for new risks. So you might be wondering, okay, I get it, formulas, processes, but why these specific ones? It's a great question. And the answer is that they represent something way deeper than just exam topics. They're about the very essence of being an effective project manager. These aren't just items on a checklist. They represent the critical decision points of a project. That moment you calculate your CPI and see you're over budget, or when you have to decide which risk response plan to activate, those are the moments where a project succeeds or fails. Exactly. These are your control mechanisms. They're the levers you pull and the dials you turn to steer the project. When things inevitably start to drift off course, and they always do, these are the tools you use to pull it back on track. Ultimately, mastering these isn't just about passing a test. It's about building your foundational skills as a leader. It doesn't matter if you're running a super predictive waterfall-style project or a fast and loose agile one. The core principles of controlling scope, managing risk, and measuring performance are absolutely universal. Okay, so let's bring it all home. Let's talk about what this all means for you and your journey from being a PMP candidate to a certified rockstar project manager. And I think Manu's closing thought just says it all. This isn't just about getting 3 letters after your name. It's a commitment to excellence. It's about stepping up and becoming one of those truly great project managers that the world desperately needs right now. And that's where we'll leave it. You have the roadmap, you know where to focus your efforts. You're not just studying to pass a test, you're preparing to lead. So the question isn't if you'll succeed anymore. The real question is, what are you going to do with that success? What's the very first project you're going to lead as a PMP?